Hi, it's Celeste, your canary in the coal mine. Today I want to talk about food. I want to talk about holiday food. Here where I live, we've just gone through the Christmas holiday season, and many of the groups I belong to had little holiday parties or buffets, and I have to admit that I fell off the wagon and I had little bits and pieces of some of this food that I would not normally have in my house. And the reason why I don't have it in my house is it's too tempting. And so I skipped some of the holiday parties, and I'm not talking about sit-down dinners, I'm talking about buffets, and you'd think to yourself, well, you can just choose the healthy stuff, you don't have to eat that other stuff. Well, I'm sorry, it's too tempting. When I see some of these holiday treats and stuff, it is just too tempting, and I succumb, and I think to myself, I'll just have a little. It won't hurt if I just have a little. Well, that's delusional thinking, because in fact it does hurt when I have a little. So after a couple of weeks where it seemed like every time I turned around I was being presented with food that wasn't really on my list, and I would just have a little, well, the first thing that was noticeable was I gained about 4 pounds in just a couple of weeks. And you could say, well, that doesn't even make sense. I didn't even eat that much food. But the truth is that my body was reacting to the food. I was starting to have an inflammation reaction, which meant that I was turning on, water retention and that sort of stuff. But the thing that really brought an end to the whole thing was I started to notice I was having massive brain fog. I mean, I could hardly think straight. I would be sitting at my computer trying to get something done, and my mind just felt like it was stuffed with cotton. And after about 3 consecutive days of thinking, oh my God, I think Alzheimer's is setting in or whatever, because I am just not able to think effectively, I finally just said, nope, it's that stuff I've been eating. I've got to stop it. I'm just not doing it anymore. So a little bit before the holidays ended, I just cut myself off and said, just not doing it, not willing to experience these symptoms. And sure enough, took a couple of days, but then my head cleared up again. Now, if that isn't evidence that what actually was causing my brain fog was that food that I know I shouldn't be eating, but fell into the temptation of it. That's one of the things I like about the fact that over the years I've cleaned up my diet so much that I can feel the difference. And in this case, it didn't give me a migraine headache, which is one of my main symptoms. It didn't particularly give me any joint pain, which was another symptom I often get. But I got the brain fog, and I got the weight gain. And so what I'm talking to you about this to first of all say I'm not perfect. I fall off the wagon too. But that by monitoring my own self and by having gotten my own body to the point where it felt pretty good, I can now feel when it starts feeling bad again. Instead of feeling bad all the time, I only feeling bad when I goof off, when I get too little sleep or I eat wrongly. Mostly it's when I eat wrongly. So that's what I'm hoping for you. I'm hoping that you can decide to strip down your diet with maybe an elimination diet and get your body settled down so that it's not all of the time in a state of reactivity. And then you add back in the things that are suspect one at a time for a few days at a time and see what the reaction is, if any. And then you'll start knowing more about what you can eat and what you can't eat. Now, there's a fairly standard list of things that a lot of people can't eat, and the big 3 are wheat products, dairy products, and sugar. And then there's other things like corn and soy and GMOs, and other things can also be the cause of your misery. But anyway, I just wanted to say that your symptom doesn't always have to be pain. It doesn't always have to be excruciating. It can just be something like brain fog, like you just can't think. And I think that a lot of the post-lunch food coma that people get, where they just kind of like come back from lunch and then they can hardly stay awake at their desk, I really think it's the same thing, that they probably had a big plate of spaghetti or a lot of bread with lunch or something like that, and it's actually kicked off a round of brain fog, so then they go get the coffee with the caffeine in it in order to stay awake because they put themselves into a semi-coma with the food they ate for lunch. So enough of my rant. I just wanted to share that information. And as usual, I want you to get well and stay well. Thanks.